Daniel and Emiliano didn't really give themselves credit. When this process started, they worked unbelievably hard behind the scenes. So fellow students should definitely thank them, and everyone who's here today. They've worked, even while Daniel was traveling around the world this summer, they worked remotely, so they've done an amazing job. So they kind of talked about historical social good, right? Social entrepreneurship. So what social entrepreneurship has done in taking those causes that we all want to do is put the action, exactly what they're talking about, behind it. And the goal of social entrepreneurship is to engage people to do something for the greater good of society. You don't have to have a nonprofit in order to do that. So there's a difference between being a for-profit organization and a profit-driven organization. For-profit social enterprises actually build that cause into the core of what they do. And that way it's front of mind and front of action as they move forward. This is the model of the future. The reason is, for-profit organizations are sustainable. Customers, investors, and employees want to engage with organizations that share their mindset for doing good in the world. And social impact companies have the ability to attract the best people because the best people want to believe that their work has an impactful outcome. So think big, choose big problems like the environment, healthcare, or the underserved, and figure out how you can make a big difference. Focus on two primary things: your product or services, and how the organization itself serves the greater good. Businesses that change the world are businesses that last, so track your social impact goals and the bottom line equally, and you'll be successful. So I'm a social entrepreneur as well, so out of those companies, by the way, I helped launch those. I've only had 14 of my own, just for clarity. You thought I was really busy, right? I was like launching one every other day from the time I was born. So Citizen Investor was one of my companies. My two co-founders were both millennials. They met each other working on a political campaign. Citizen Investor was formed after the economic crisis kind of devastated pretty much everything. So one of the founders started seeing like there's a park pool in a community, and it's like the city didn't have the money to refurbish it. So we started talking about like, hey, how could we do something that would make a difference? So we started what's called a civic crowdfunding platform. We're a for-profit organization. We took 5% of every project that was out there. In exchange for that 5%, we helped connect the project with the money. Not only by putting it on a platform that was online, but by helping them get the right governmental support that they wanted. So, unlike Kickstarter, where they say, hey, put your stuff on here and go, we actually created all the templates. We worked to help with marketing. We educated people on what to do and how to do it as a part of the platform. So if you saw a project, you would go and post it as an idea. You rally people together to support the idea. We'll help you engage with local government, get them to support you, and once the project is funded, it gets built, and you can monitor the progress. By working with local government, we ensured that the money, it was completely transparent end to end, so your money couldn't get allocated to go to some other project that the government decided would be a good use of funds. I'll give you a great example of how this worked. In 2012, the youngest mayor in the history of the United States was elected. Unfortunately, he was elected to a bankrupt city in Rhode Island. At 27, he said he wanted to do something to clean up the city. The mills in town had shut down, the steel plant had shut down. The park, the only park in the city, was completely, looked like a gravel parking lot and was filled with trash. The winds are really rough up there, so the trash cans would continue to blow over and the trash would just go everywhere. So a group of kids in middle school and high school said, well, we'll help clean it up if you'll help us fix it. So he came to us, we put a project online. We worked to get people not only in their community, but people all around to support the project. It was completely funded. The kids actually cleaned the park. The mayor went and hired steel workers who had been displaced to build steel trash cans that were public art and put them in the park. The community came together to take the money to paint the benches, do the other things in order to the playground. So you can do good and still make a profit as a part of that. We actually had 65% of every project that was posted was funded, and 40% of the projects got more than 30% of their funding outside of their own community. So let me give you a couple other examples. So I don't know if anyone has ever heard of this, but Barefoot College is actually over in India. It was founded by a gentleman named Bunker Roy, and he's a pretty amazing guy. I had the opportunity to meet him probably at the first Pink conference in Sarasota. So after graduating college, he took a year off and decided to travel around India before he joined his family business. He came back home to tell his parents he wasn't joining. His mother didn't speak to him for 9 years, just as an FYI. It's pretty rough. But what he did was he started with a water project in India. It's evolved into a program that brings illiterate grandmothers, because they're the most respected in the tribes, are the grandmothers, to a college and teaches them to be architects, solar engineers, right? Midwives, doctors. It's gone on to be an organization where those same women have become the architects that have architected all the new facilities. They're completely solar run and completely self-sustainable. It's a for-profit entity. There's a separate nonprofit organization, but a for-profit organization. And I was able to connect him with Apple and with Google. And between him working it after I made a phone call, he raised $15 million more to support their organization. Full Harvest is another local story. So the founder is the daughter of a local entrepreneur herself, and grew up here in Sarasota, moved to Silicon Valley, and they actually take 100% of the harvest. So the reality is, Christine wanted to see the 20 billion pounds of produce that go to waste in the US every single year, only because it's not pretty. Not because it's not edible, because it's not pretty. She wanted to see that change. So she's figured out a way to connect the farmers, as you can see, to take the rest of the harvest, so farmers with the food companies, beverage companies, to use that. She's raised $11 million to date to support that. And then Timbo, an organization that was founded out of the University of Tampa by college students who are entrepreneurs. Their mission is to use technology to educate 0 to 6-year-olds, right, around the world, because they understand that early childhood education is what makes a really core difference. The first paid customers they had in the United States served 96 families and created a Spanish-English curriculum. They were then invited by the Sheikh of Dubai to come over and to educate 80,000 Syrian refugees as a part of his global initiative. They won the Mass Challenge. They came in second place in the Holt Prize and have raised $1.5 million. So my point to this is, you can actually have a for-profit and for-good company. And the stronger your company is, the better your chances. We live in times today of uncertainty on a global scale, and lots of change. Now more than ever, it's important for our actions and our businesses to promote peace, prosperity, and stability. Traditionally, people graduated, they went to work, they made money, and then later in life they became philanthropic. While that's going to continue for decades, generations like yours have made a decision to take a different approach and actually do good now. You can use social entrepreneurship to harness your passion and lead a purpose-driven, profitable company, creating lasting change in the world. Companies reflect their leaders, so you need to be authentic. Authentic leaders create trust, they empower, they lead purpose-driven lives and profitable companies that create a lasting impact on everyone that they encounter. When you apply the why behind your passion to a sustainable business model, the outcome is your brand, your message, and ultimately your success. The why allows you to motivate employees, volunteers, investors, and donors while building your tribe. Once you understand the why, The hows are easy. Anyone can help you with the hows. You guys have a great opportunity here with the Cross College Alliance. There are very few places in the entire world, much less in this country, that you have so much talent across these universities as you do here, to find appropriate co-founders to build pretty much anything you would like. So think big. Dare to live your very best life by providing meaningful value to the world. I guarantee you that you will go far beyond changing the lives of others. It'll give real meaning to your life, and it will make you happy. It certainly has for me. Thank you.